In the tapestry of human interaction, respect serves as a foundational thread, weaving together the fabric of our social existence. Yet, there are moments when this thread frays, when we find ourselves the target of public ridicule or belittlement. Such experiences can shake our sense of self-worth and challenge our composure. This guide delves into the philosophical underpinnings of respect and offers practical strategies to navigate these challenging encounters with dignity and poise. Respect is not merely a social courtesy, it is a recognition of the inherent worth of individuals. Philosophers have long debated its dimensions, distinguishing between respect for persons as moral agents and the esteem we accord based on actions or achievements. Recognizing this distinction is crucial. When someone disrespects us publicly, it's often a reflection of their own insecurities or misunderstandings rather than a true assessment of our value. Before seeking respect from others, we must cultivate self-respect. This involves acknowledging our intrinsic worth, setting personal boundaries, and maintaining integrity. Self-respect acts as a shield against external negativity, allowing us to respond to disrespect not with retaliation, but with measured confidence. In moments of public embarrassment, our immediate reaction can either escalate or diffuse the situation. Maintaining composure through steady posture, calm tone, and measured words demonstrates inner strength. This not only preserves our dignity, but often prompts others to reassess their behavior. Socratic questioning: respond to a belittling comment with a thoughtful question. This shifts the focus and encourages reflection. For example, what leads you to that conclusion? Invites dialogue rather than confrontation. Stoic indifference: embrace the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within your control. You cannot control others' actions, but you can control your response. By not reacting emotionally, you deny the offender the satisfaction of seeing you unsettled. Confucian courtesy: uphold your own standards of respect and decorum, regardless of others' behavior. This adherence to personal ethics often earns admiration and can influence others to mirror your conduct. Establishing clear boundaries is essential. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, calmly express that their behavior is unacceptable. Use I statements to convey your feelings without casting blame, such as, "I feel uncomfortable when comments like that are made." Holding on to resentment can be detrimental to our well-being. Philosophical traditions often emphasize the importance of forgiveness, not for the offender's sake, but for our own peace of mind. Letting go of grudges frees us from the burden of negativity. Lead by example. Treat others with respect, listen actively, and acknowledge their perspectives. Creating an atmosphere of mutual respect encourages others to follow suit and reduces the likelihood of public disrespect. Sometimes the most respectful action is to remove yourself from a toxic environment. Recognizing when a situation is irredeemable and choosing to disengage preserves your self-respect and mental health. Respect is one of the most fundamental pillars of human interaction. It forms the basis for meaningful relationships, effective communication, and societal harmony. Yet, despite its importance, many of us encounter moments where respect is withheld, challenged, or outright denied, especially in public settings. Being belittled or ridiculed in front of others can feel humiliating and disorienting. It is during these moments that our true character is tested, and how we respond can define how others perceive us moving forward. The pursuit of respect is not about asserting dominance or forcing others to comply with our wishes. Instead, it is about understanding the dynamics of human interaction, recognizing our own value, and responding to disrespect with wisdom and grace. This guide explores how you can navigate public humiliation or ridicule with a calm, confident demeanor, drawing on timeless philosophical insights and modern psychological strategies. The aim is to empower you to maintain your dignity and earn genuine respect, even from those who may initially seem unwilling to recognize it. Respect is a complex concept with multiple layers. At its core, respect involves recognizing the intrinsic worth of individuals, not based on superficial traits or accomplishments, but as fellow human beings deserving of dignity. Philosophers such as Immanuel Kant emphasize this idea, arguing that we must treat people as ends in themselves, not merely as means to an end. This foundational view challenges us to see beyond fleeting judgments or social status. However, respect can also be conditional or earned, related to how a person behaves, their expertise, or their moral integrity. The challenge arises when respect is withheld unjustly or when it becomes entangled with power dynamics. Some individuals may deliberately diminish others to elevate themselves. Understanding this is crucial because it shifts the focus away from personal inadequacy and toward recognizing patterns of behavior driven by insecurity or opportunism in others. When someone mocks or belittles you publicly, it is often less about who you are and more about their need to assert control or mask their vulnerabilities. This perspective helps you avoid internalizing their disrespect and instead view their actions as reflections of their character, not yours. Self-respect is the foundation upon which all other forms of respect are built. Without it, the opinions and behaviors of others can easily destabilize our sense of self. Self-respect means acknowledging your own worth, setting clear personal boundaries, and refusing to accept treatment that diminishes your dignity. Cultivating self-respect requires introspection and self-awareness. It involves recognizing your strengths and weaknesses with honesty and compassion, and committing to live in alignment with your values. When you embody self-respect, you communicate to the world that you value yourself, which naturally influences how others treat you. One powerful way to build self-respect is through daily rituals that reinforce your sense of worth. This can be as simple as practicing mindfulness, engaging in activities that bring you joy, or reflecting on your accomplishments. The more grounded you become in your own value, the less likely you are to be shaken by public ridicule or disrespect. When confronted with public disrespect, the impulse to respond emotionally is natural but often counterproductive. Anger, embarrassment, or defensiveness can escalate the situation and undermine your position. Instead, cultivating composure, an even tempered and calm presence, demonstrates strength and self-control. Composure is more than just hiding emotions. It is about managing them skillfully. It requires breathing deeply, grounding yourself in the moment, and responding thoughtfully rather than reactively. This calm demeanor often disarms those who seek to provoke or belittle, as they lose the reaction they desire. Philosophers like the Stoics championed this approach centuries ago, emphasizing that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions. By practicing composure, you not only preserve your dignity, but also command respect simply through the example you set. Let's explore some practical techniques inspired by philosophical traditions that can be applied when faced with public disrespect. Socratic questioning: when someone insults or mocks you, instead of responding with anger, ask a thoughtful question that encourages reflection. For example, if a person makes a sarcastic remark, calmly ask, "What makes you say that?" Or "Can you explain what you mean by that?" This approach invites dialogue rather than confrontation, and it often exposes the weakness or baselessness of the offensive comment. It can also subtly challenge the person to reconsider their own words. Stoic indifference. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control the opinions or actions of others, but we can control our own mindsets. When faced with ridicule, adopt an attitude of indifference, not in the sense of apathy, but as a refusal to let the insult disturb your inner peace. This mental discipline deprives the offender of the power to hurt you emotionally. Confucian courtesy. In Confucian thought, respect and harmony in social relationships are paramount. Even when confronted with disrespect, maintaining politeness and decorum can be a powerful form of resistance. Upholding your own standards in the face of rudeness shows strength of character and often causes others to reconsider their behavior. It also signals to bystanders that you are the person embodying dignity, which can shift social dynamics in your favor. Respect requires boundaries. When someone crosses a line, whether through words or actions, it's essential to communicate clearly that such behavior is unacceptable. This can be done assertively, but without aggression. Using I statements is a respectful way to express your feelings. For example, you might say, "I feel disrespected when jokes are made at my expense. I would appreciate if we could keep our conversations respectful." This approach focuses on your experience rather than blaming, which reduces defensiveness and opens the door to mutual understanding. Setting boundaries not only protects your dignity, but also educates others on how you expect to be treated. Over time, this can shift the culture around you, creating an environment where respect is the norm. Holding grudges or nursing resentment after being publicly humiliated only extends your suffering. Many philosophical traditions advocate for forgiveness, not as a favor to the offender, but as a gift to yourself. Forgiveness allows you to release the emotional weight of negative experiences, freeing your mind and heart. This does not mean forgetting or excusing harmful behavior. Rather, it means choosing not to carry the burden of anger or hurt indefinitely. By letting go, you reclaim your power and redirect your energy toward positive growth. Forgiveness can be a gradual process. It often begins with understanding the humanity of those who offend us, their own struggles, fears, and imperfections. This compassionate perspective softens our emotional defenses and promotes healing. Respect is not a one-way street. It is cultivated through reciprocal actions. By treating others with kindness, empathy, and active listening, you create a space where respect flourishes naturally. Modeling respectful behavior has a ripple effect. When you consistently demonstrate genuine interest in others' views, acknowledge their contributions, and communicate openly, you inspire similar conduct in return. Creating such an environment requires patience and consistency, especially in groups or communities where disrespect may be normalized. However, your commitment to respect can be a catalyst for positive change, influencing even those who may initially resist. Despite our best efforts, some situations remain toxic and unreceptive to change. In such cases, choosing to disengage and walk away is an act of self-respect and courage. Leaving a disrespectful environment is not surrender. It is a strategic withdrawal that preserves your dignity and mental health. It sends a clear message that your presence is valuable and that you will not tolerate being diminished. Walking away can be difficult, especially when ties are strong, whether professional, social, or familial. Yet, prioritizing your well-being is paramount. Sometimes, Absence speaks louder than words and can prompt reflection or change in others. Respect is a dynamic interplay between self-regard and social interaction. When confronted with public belittlement or ridicule, the challenge lies not in seeking revenge or validation, but in embodying principles of dignity, composure, and wisdom. By understanding the nature of respect, cultivating self-respect, managing your reactions thoughtfully, and setting firm boundaries, you empower yourself to rise above negativity. Philosophical insights provide timeless guidance, reminding us that true respect begins within and radiates outward. Remember, your worth is inherent and unshaken by the opinions of others. Through mindful practice and courage, you can transform moments of disrespect into opportunities for growth, strength, and deeper connection. Have you experienced situations where you felt disrespected publicly? How did you respond, and what lessons did you take away? Feel free to share your stories or reflections. Engaging with others enriches our understanding and fosters a supportive community. If this exploration resonated with you, consider subscribing for more thoughtful discussions on philosophy and practical wisdom for everyday life. Together, we can continue to cultivate respect, not only for ourselves, but for everyone we encounter.